Dingo Doll's gonna be a cover shooting.
Ah, bastards! He'll get every last one of yous.
Stunned silence. Crash Bandicoot 4 is definitely a game that demonstrates a perfect case of growing up with its audience. The fires were stoked regarding a potential original comeback title with the rip-roaring success of the Insane Trilogy remasters and the nitro-fueled Crash Team Racing remake. Even still, its sudden announcement was way out of left field for me. Wholly unexpected. But of course I was going to want to play it. I pre-ordered it as soon as I was able to, and I dedicated an entire Friday to Sunday set of streams to knuckle down and grind out the story run on launch weekend. Such was my expectation that I'd love it, and that the new men at the helm Toys for Bob would keep it faithfully feeling like the Crash adventures of the PS1 era. I had such great fun discovering what's up in It's About Time, and that title drop really felt apt. It truly was about time. But it's not just a case of time here, it's a dimension-hopping, fabric of reality-ripping, paradox-inducing journey across the multiverse in a bid to halt the returning and resurgent Cortex, Entropy, and the rest of the zany scientists from their plot of domination over all of time and space. The story of the main adventure is a badge of honour that Crash 4 can wear proudly. Profoundly well written and capable of being incredibly funny, helped by great performances from the cast. Lex Lang returning for another Cortex stint is a certain highlight, his lines and jokes excel. And while Maurice LaMarche couldn't be hung onto for another game voicing Embryo, I did find this out during play and blame that one squarely on the Animaniacs Hulu reboot. Not only does Roger Craig Smith perform convincingly the deranged potion fanatic, but I'm discovering so much more about his range as a voice artist. And that line at the beginning that I spouted about this game growing up with its audience, you go ahead and try and convince me that any of these quips will be okay in a PEGI 12 release. Speaking of growing up with its audience, the gameplay and overall structure felt that way too. Crash is given his entire moveset out of the gate, and basically that's all you need to run through the game. Spin, crawl, slide, high jumping from a crouch, double jumping, belly flops, it's all there. And while I did think during my playtime that it wasn't completely one-to-one with the originals, it's understandable as this was created more or less from the ground up. Also, it opts to poach the moves of other platforming characters, most notably the rail grinding, and adds in temporary power-ups for set sections of each level in the form of the quantum masks. Gone are the 25 crystals of old, our only necessary pickups this time are the masks, which grant Crash or Coco a set ability to manipulate the phasing of realities to reveal certain objects, become a powerful yet floaty wrecking machine, slow down the flow of time, and reverse gravity. Only temporarily providing you an extension to your abilities without requiring you to completely rewire your thinking of how to play a Crash game, and allowing you to get away with some potentially amazing feats of platforming. But Crash and Coco are not the sole playable characters this time. 3 more enter the fray, and luckily, while their moves and capabilities are a departure somewhat from our usual marsupials, they all still share the same common game ethos of tight platforming and smashing up crates. Once you meet each of them in their own dedicated stage in the main campaign, you will unlock certain side stages where you can find out how certain stage events were in fact triggered by one of these side characters having their journeys intertwined with Crash's path. While a superb addition, I'd say it's far from perfect on reflection. Firstly, I think they got too much revealed about them in promotional trailers. I would have loved a live reaction without any prior knowledge of finding out an alternate universe's Torna came in to help us out, or that Dingo Dial suddenly ended up dimension hopping after simply wanting to run a restaurant business in peace. Secondly, their implementation in the levels left a bit to be desired, I think. In those side stages, you start as the side character in an original level layout, but you would finish their relatively short sections fairly quickly to then only swap back to the main Crash level merely with a rearranged crate layout that barely changes anything about the approaches I had to traversing it. You'd be left with maybe as much as 2/3 of the Crash level to run through again seemingly pointlessly. Why not just end the stage with the side character initiating the event and simply extend those portions out at the start or something? That would have been my way of doing it, and I'm sure I'm not the only one with that idea. Now otherwise, playing the Crash 4 story through to its end is a simply fantastic time, well worth it for absolutely everyone. It's challenging unlike the Crash games that precede it towards the tail end, but it's completely manageable. However, we end up with a sort of two sides of the coin deal, because after playing a bit more in my spare time, that's where I discovered that a completion run of Crash Bandicoot 4 is one of the hardest and most tedious endeavours in all of platforming games. Completing Crash games before was nothing. nothing at least compared to the Herculean effort you need to put into fully complete Crash 4. Box counts have skyrocketed, some platforming challenges have millimeter precision, relics from time trials require near flawless speedruns, bonus levels from flashback tape collectibles are devious, although side note, flashback tape levels are worth it though. You do get nostalgia overload from original Crash music and great extra dialogues from characters. But just generally the stipulations of fully completing a level in this game are insanely daunting. You need certain amounts of Wumpa Fruit to earn gems, you need to smash all of a stage's crates, you need to locate a hidden gem that's sometimes so incredibly secret that you'd be forgiven to look in a guide nowadays, and you need to avoid those deaths. 6 gems in each stage, some with a coloured gem too, which will be necessary to get more gems in later stages, and then there's the inverted stages. A horizontally flipped version of the stage with some kind of garish filter that's only good for the novelty on its first appearance, with its own set of 6 gems, basically requiring you to play every single stage at least once more. And let's not even go into the rewards for perfecting a stage with all boxes and no failures. 1, the secrets unlocked were pitiful at best, and 2nd, achieving those things requires perfection from the player. But in some instances, thanks to slightly lackluster controls and areas left slightly unpolished, the game will not offer perfection back to you. Don't even think about a single full completion run in one sitting. Don't even attempt getting all those collectibles if you think you can't stomach it. However, do enjoy what is arguably the best Crash Bandicoot game since the original PS1 trilogy, if you decide to play solely its story run. Everything extra earned along the way can be used as bragging rights for you. Boy, this is a weird conclusion. Crash 4 is amazing, if you don't try to complete it. But still try it out. But don't complete it. Maybe a sales price down the line is worth waiting for. I wouldn't want you to be burnt either way by playing a sweet yet very short game, or by getting endlessly frustrated in search of perfection when, really, this game is not perfect itself. But still, try it out. It does a lot of things right, and it's about time that Crash enjoyed a resurgence for new fans to experience. A big supermassive hello to you all, thank you very much for watching this review video. Be sure to leave your likes and comments down below, and if you want to see more, click the subscribe button and click the notification bell icon. If you want to catch my Twitch live streams on Tuesdays, Wednesdays, Thursdays and Saturdays, as well as see the full stream video, go to twitch.tv/rickb321 to find out more, and make sure to follow my other socials on Twitter and Facebook. Thanks again for watching, stay you and stay awesome, and I'll see you all later on.